What's up, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of Feed the Beast Infinity Evolved Expert Mode. Oh yeah, guys. So last episode we were messing around with some Thaumcraft stuff and some Botania stuff. Got a spark right in the face. Yeah, so I made a whole bunch of these Endo Flames, and you guys told me that I had way too many for the mana spreader that I was using to pull the mana out of the Endo Flames and into the mana pool. I have since made 3 more. So now we got a total of 4 of these things going. I still don't think that's enough, and I think some people are leaving comments saying that there's only like 4 or 5 Endo Flames to one spreader, the default ones. There's upgrade versions that can handle more and I think send more mana at a time. But yeah, the current ones we have right now, we still don't have enough. I need to probably either double or triple the amount we have to handle all of the mana we're generating, or that we are currently generating through all these Endo Flames. So yeah, that's something we will look at in the future. In fact, we're probably going to be setting up an entire Botania area sometime in the future. This was just kind of like a temporary thing to get us by so we can make Terrasteel. And I am currently trying to get our mana pool full once again so we can make another piece of Terrasteel. So currently I am throwing a stack of blaze rods in each one of these things, and the Endo Flames nearby are able to pick that up. Yep. Alright, we'll do that one, and that one, close enough, something like that. So yeah, the way I have this set up currently is I went through and I like took these, like this quadrant right here, and I attached those all to this spreader. Then I did the same thing on this one, like I went from here all the way over there and attached that to this spreader. But yeah, I do believe we need quite a few more spreaders or higher quality ones in order to really get this going. But for now, yeah, we're being kind of wasteful, using too many blaze rods that we're getting for free essentially, so it doesn't really matter. Yeah, we're just trying to get that full so I can make more Terrasteel. Like I said, these blaze are still going. I haven't touched this since the last episode, and we have almost 10,000 blaze rods now. And I've actually taken a couple of full inventories over here to the base and thrown them into our ME system because we've been using blaze rods for various things here and there. Oop. Blaze, yeah, so we got, 3,000 in our system now, which we didn't have before, so we've collected over 13,000 blaze rods. So yeah, that's pretty awesome. So I've been getting questions in the comments. Let's take a minute to go over some of these. One of the most frequently asked questions that I've been getting is, what's my playtime? How many hours in the game have I played? Well, a lot. I don't know the exact number. If we click this button, this is part of FTB Utilities. This shows you who's all been on the server, how long they played, and all this stuff. So currently, I've played for 17 minutes. No, I think that's 17 days of playtime. That's a lot of playtime. 17 days out of 45, but that's not straight playtime because I have like AFK'd and left the game running unintentionally and things like this. So that number isn't exactly accurate, but yeah, I put in a lot of time into this series so far. I don't think there's a way to go back, so escape to get out of that. Another question people keep asking is, why am I not using UU-matter to replicate everything? So let's try and replicate some things with UU-matter, things that people keep asking about. Some of those things are thaumium. So let's take a piece of thaumium. Void metal was another one. Yep, if we could do this. What about the void seeds? Gotta try those at least. Let's see, what else can we do here? People are asking the awakened. Yeah, people want me to replicate this, the draconic. Let's do the ingots, the charge block, the ore. We'll grab all these things. And bedrockium. All right. So we will try and replicate all of these. Now, for those of you who don't know, IC2 does not allow you to replicate everything. There's only a certain few things that you can replicate. Like, for instance, I know for a fact this mysterious magnet, I cannot put it in the scanner. Only things that can go in the scanner are things that are potentially able to be replicated. For instance, like the... Let's see, which one is it? It's like this ultimate hybrid solar? No, it's a quantum. The quantum solar panel requires this quantum core. You can stick this item in the replicator and it looks like it's going to replicate, but when it's all said and done, you put that onto a crystal memory, it says uranium ingot. So you lose out on 4 Nether Stars and all this enriched Cenarium and all this iridium. Yeah, so even though you can put certain things in there, doesn't mean you can replicate it. But anyway, so thaumium, well, let me put it in there. Void metal, can't. Void Seed, will not. Awakened Draconium, nope, can't put that in there. Not with this one or this guy. The ore, can't replicate this. Bedrockium, we can, apparently. Okay, so that's one thing. Like torches, we can, I know for sure. Don't think, well, yeah, the bucket of water, I think it let me put that in there. Yeah, not the beef Wellington. Can't do this one. Oh, we can do ender pouches. Interesting. I might try that later. Yeah, I don't think any of the Tinker's tools will go in there. What about this guy? This would be really awesome. No. Dang it. So yeah, certain things you can, most things you cannot. How about the wand? No, won't let me do that. Okay, so Bedrockium, I am curious. Let us do this. I don't know if I have any blink crystal memories. Crystal, yeah, these are all, yeah, those all have stuff on them. Let's make a crystal memory. I think I should have enough of the stuff to do this. Did I? Oh, it's right there. I couldn't find it. Oh, we have to make this one. Yep, and then we have to cook it, and then we can use it. All right, so let's go put this over in the IC2 electric furnace real quick. Cool. And we will scan the Bedrockium ingot. Yeah, depending on how much that costs, it might be a lot better to do this. Now, since we're talking about the UU-matter right now, I had this going for a long time, just creating plutonium. So I have stopped that. That chest was nearly full. Yeah, we got 15,000 plutonium right now. So that's a heck of a lot. That, this stuff right here, let's search it. This stuff will turn into those RTG fuels. It will turn into the bedrock, the bedrockium. Yeah, the plutonium here. Actually, I clicked that the wrong way, didn't I? Okay, so the uses, yeah, we can turn it into the MOX nuclear fuel, which we can also smelt again and turn that to bedrockium. This can be used in the reactor as well. We don't really have a need for it at this point. It can also be turned into this pellets of RTG fuel. And the pellets of RTG fuel are used in like this creative energy cell recipe. Those are used in like a mob grinder, draconic chest. We did that last episode. Portal gun thing, and making the yellorium fuel rods for big reactors. So yeah, we're going to be using a lot of that for these since we have that big reactor I haven't messed with since the last time we've shown it. But yeah, we're going to need a lot of yellorium fuel rods for that, so definitely going to get some use out of it. Okay, well, I tell you guys what, let's wait for that to finish up over there, that bedrock, and we'll be right back. Cool, the bedrockium ingot finished up here, and they cost 727.8 millibuckets of UU-matter to replicate that, which sounds kind of like a lot. But if we were to do the MOX nuclear fuel, this is the item you create in order to smelt and turn into a bedrockium ingot. It actually costs more. It's 887.7 millibuckets. So, you know, making the bedrockium ingot instead of the MOX nuclear fuel is actually smarter. Now, I was doing a little bit more research here. A while ago, I made one of these crystal memories for plutonium, and that's nearly 300 millibuckets per, and it takes 3 of those plus 3 of the uranium-238s. No, I'm sorry, 6 of those. Yeah, so this would be like 900 millibuckets making the plutonium instead of making the MOX, and then it's cheaper just to make the bedrockium as well. So anyway, yeah, there's certain things that you can do in here that's cheaper, but honestly, we're talking about like 100, 200 millibuckets of UU-matter. It's not that much, especially when it's going automated and just running all the time. Now, I did switch this over to making the iridium reinforced plates. We're going to be making a whole lot of these so we can make the more advanced stuff from Industrial Craft 2 or the advanced solar mods or any of this stuff later on. But yeah, that's what we need basically right now. We have way too much plutonium and not enough iridium. Okay, so another thing that I want to work on today, people are telling me that I should copy my Soulbound books using Bibliocraft. That's something that is pretty cool to do. So in order to do this, we didn't do this earlier on because it's kind of expensive and we weren't into the magic mods at that point in time. But now that we've kind of scratched the surface on that, we're able to make these. So it does require 3 thaumium blocks. What is that? 27 ingots of the thaumium. Yep, a blaze rod, an iron plate, and some iron item casings. That is not bad. That's to make the printing press. Now we also need to make the type setting table, which is a printing press chase. and then some wood, a redstone chipset, and a blaze rod. That's not bad. And then this thing right here is 2 thaumium and 2 mana steel. So we're able to make all of these things. So let's go ahead and craft those up real quick and get this going. So we need one of these for the recipe. We're also going to need one of those to set a pattern or whatever for the book that we're copying. Where'd everything go? It's shifted. Okay, typesetting table. Yeah, we should be able to craft one of those. Cool. And then the printing press. I think I have to make 3 of these. I just crafted up about a stack of this thaumium earlier today, so we should have extra in the system. I don't know if we have everything. Yeah, we don't have that plate. How do we get this iron plate from Railcraft? Ah, we need the rolling machine. We haven't had to use this guy for a minute. Okay. And it appears I must have used my last rolling machine for the whatever, the compacting drawer, the last one I made. Okay, let me make one of those real quick. We'll roll out one of those iron sheets or iron plates, and we'll be right back. All right, there we go. We had everything made already in the system, so I could just craft the rolling machine straight away, and that was a pretty fast craft to make the 4 iron plates. So here we go, printing press, got it. So these are the 3 items that we need in order to get the printing press to work in order to duplicate books. We are also going to need ink, I do believe. Let's grab some of this. We get plenty of squid spawning out here in our lake, by the way. There's always squid out there. So I go out there every once in a while and just collect some. Okay, so we have the ink, printing press, all of this. We need, I'm trying to remember. I've done this once before in a creative world, trying to figure this all out. We're definitely going to need the book. And if I remember right, it cost 40 levels in order to copy that book. So we might have to go and collect a little bit of experience from our experience obelisk over here. Let's go get 20 more levels. This one. There we go. 48 levels. That should be enough. Whoa there. That. Sometimes the speed on this jetpack, this armor, a little crazy. I don't know where we had set this up. I mean, it almost makes sense just to put it like right here, I guess. Maybe. Anyway, we'll set it on the floor for right now, and I'll figure out a better spot for this later. Okay, so this guy goes here. This guy goes there. Cool. Do we need blank books? I think we need blank books. Let me take the books out of here. All right, I think the books go... Is it on this? No, it's on this. Okay, so yeah, the books go on the printing press, and I believe it uses these books when it's actually copying. So we need the printing press chase there. We need the book that we're copying there. I think there's something else that's supposed to go here, and I can't remember what it is. Oh, you know what else? Yeah, I think there's glasses, like reading glasses. Okay, this might tell me more information on what I need to do. Let's make these real quick. We don't have any glass panes. Okay. There we go. Now looking at this thing with the glasses on, yeah, it says requires 40 level Soulbound 1. I don't remember what I have to do. Select the book. Oh, okay. Well, I guess I just had to shift right click on this thing. Yeah, use the levels. And there we go. We now have a enchanted plate with Soulbound 1 on it. Okay, and that did use my 40 levels, yeah. So we put the plate in here, and then we have to put ink somewhere, and I think it's on this thing. Put ink somewhere. Do I have to shift click the ink on there? Okay, I might have to go look up what I'm doing wrong. I know there's something else. Oh. Yeah, I just right clicked with the ink on the handle. Maybe that's all I had to do. It looks like it used up the entire stack of ink. And things are happening now. All right, so here we go. There's a Soulbound 1 enchanted book. Awesome. So I think, actually I might need an open hand to do this. Yeah, I think this will just go ahead and copy it indefinitely as long as we have the books here and we have enough ink. I don't, oh, it says on there 61 ink. Okay. Okay. So we'll be able to do this the amount of times that we have books here. So yeah, now we have infinite Soulbound books. Oh, I am actually incorrect. I've never tried duplicating this multiple times. Apparently, wait, what just, oh, I can get the ink out of there. apparently the printing press chase only has so many uses, and then I need to use 40 more levels to make a new one. Well, okay, so maybe it's not that great. I thought we'd be able to do this indefinitely. I've never really used this whole setup before, but yeah, that's how it's done, so you can copy them this way. Alternatively, we can go back over to our mob farm, which I have still collecting armor and things like this, and the armors, let me turn off mob sounds. Yeah, the armor over here does have Soulbound on it. Some pieces do. Getting blown around by those fans. Let's see. Any of these? No? I know some of these do. Some of the leather ones anyway. I've seen it on here. Maybe I'm incorrect. Here's Soulbound on the golden boots. And then we can use the disenchanter to get the Soulbound off of those and use that in other pieces. And this is just like stuff that we're collecting automatically, so it's not a big deal. I know we have like 2 on the golden pieces, at least the last time I checked. Unless I removed those, I might have taken that off already. Alright, here's one on the helmet. Any other ones? What about on the chain armor? I don't remember if I ever saw any of the Soulbound on the chain armor yet, but I haven't really looked at this stuff for a minute. Yeah, okay, so it looks like we got 3 more here. Cool. So I'll use the disenchanter and get some more Soulbound, then we'll be right back, guys. So last episode, I briefly talked about how fast we can craft that Terrasteel using these sparks. Again, I'm pretty new to Botanian, so I assume a lot of my viewers might be new to this too and haven't seen this before. But yeah, you just place a spark on top of the mana pool, and you place one on top of the plate over here, and you just drop the items, and like it makes it super fast. So let's get these items on here and let's see this. So there's those items, and there's the mana pool, and it is just being slurped out super quickly. Yeah, and this thing gets made like ridiculously fast compared to what we were trying to do. And you can see all the particles kind of jumping around there and having fun. Yeah, this thing is draining super fast, and we should have the Terrasteel here in just a second. Come on, do it. There we go. Wither boss killing time. And get ninja'd. Alright guys, well I'm getting kind of tired of killing the Wither boss. I just killed it another like 9 or 10 times. I mean, it's super easy. It's just one of those things that I have to sit there and wait for it to, you know, explode and then shoot it and go down there and hit it and collect the stuff and then set up another one. So anyway, I would like to get to a point where we can automatically kill the Wither boss, and a good way to do that in this mod pack is another Draconic Evolution item called the Mob Grinder. So this item right here is quite expensive for what it is. Well, at least it's expensive for this mod pack anyway. Yeah, it does use a pellet of the RTG fuel. We were looking at this earlier. It also requires this mana dust. Now, I was saying previously, I think last episode, that this is kind of a thing that I don't know how to get, and we're going to have to do an MFR laser drill, mining drill, whatever. Yeah, it turns out that that is incorrect, that you can actually convert silver into this mana infused metal. I didn't know this before. I looked it up on the wiki, and yeah, sure enough, we only need to make a bucket's worth of primal mana, basically, is what we need to do. And then we can convert all of the silver ore we want into this kind of ore. Okay, so the first thing we need to do is make this primal mana. So this recipe shows us how to make 2 ingots worth. We need to do this like 4 times. Yeah. So anyway, we need molten fairy, molten pokefinium, I guess, pokefinium. I don't know how you say that. Molten draconium, and then some liquid XP. We got this covered. Molten draconium. I did go back to the end. Actually, let's go there real quick since we can do this like super easy. Yeah, I went back to the end, and I mined out this comet down here, and then I was exploring a little bit more, and I found another comet over here, and this comet right here was disappointing. It had like 59 ore total. Yeah, it's not that much. So after I mined this one, I went exploring, and I found this one, and this one, with that 59 ore, I think I ended up with like 3.5 stacks of draconium ore. So yeah, good find here. You can see this one looks significantly bigger than this one too. So yeah, it had a lot of the ore in there. So yeah, that's super good. Oops. So anyway, We're up to 3,102 draconium ingots, so we are good on that stuff for a while. So we can go ahead and melt that down for this recipe. So back to this, we're looking at the primal mana. Yeah, so we need molten fairy. We're gonna need a total of 4 ingots worth of this stuff. Yeah, 1 ingot is 144 millibuckets. So you get that by combining blood, obsidian, and ardite together, and you get molten fairy. So yeah, getting blood is kind of an interesting thing. It's similar to how you get emerald juice out of villagers. So you melt down an iron ingot or something so there's metal in here, and then you stand in the smeltery to get 5 millibuckets like every 10 seconds or something. So it takes a minute to get a lot of the stuff. Alternatively, you can, I think, put animals or mobs or something else in there. I can't remember what else you put in the smeltery. But yeah, if you spawn in a whole bunch of stuff, I mean, obviously each entity you have in there will tick that 5 millibuckets every time and take some damage. So that's probably the best way of doing it. But anyway, I did this a little bit ago. And we have a bucket of blood in here. This is a full 1,000 millibuckets. It took me a while of doing it. It was like watching a video while I just sat there and ticked away some damage in the smeltery. So we do have a bucket's worth of that stuff. So I can go ahead and grab this, and I think I'm just going to click that. Can we click that right in there? Does that work? No, I think I have to pipe it in somehow. All right, so let us do tank. So I think if I put the tank like this, and then I click the bucket on the tank, that should go inside as soon as I flip the little thing from blue to orange. There we go. Yeah, and that should be 1,000, or yeah, 1,000 millibuckets. Or maybe it just completely goes away. Oh, you know what? Yeah, that's right. This was turned the wrong direction. Okay, let me take off the servo. Okay, so that should all get sucked back in there. All right, so there we go. There's 1 bucket's worth, 1,000 millibuckets of blood. Okay, so that part is done. The only thing we need to do is add in the other ingredients. Yeah, so the molten fairy requires blood, obsidian, ardite. The pokefinium, whatever, requires blood, iron, and cobalt. And finally, the draconium is just straight draconium or smelted. Cool. So let me go ahead and get this stuff all mixed together, melted, combined, made the alloys. We'll try and get a bucket's worth of the primal mana, and we'll be right back, guys. Okay, guys, so I have enough in here for 4 times this recipe. Yeah, we ended up using, what was it, 2 ardite ingots, and then 2 blocks of obsidian. Let's see, what do we do here? 2 cobalt and, yeah, 2 iron ingots. That's how much I have in there. That makes 4 ingots of this stuff and 4 of this one. I put in 8 of the draconium, so we should be good. Actually, you know what? Now I'm looking at this, I think we might need more draconium than that. But anyway, we're going to need a total of 4 buckets of liquid XP. So you can use a bucket on the experience obelisk, and I have done that. So I put 4 buckets worth of that in here. And this is what our smeltery is looking like right now. Yeah, we got 4 fairy, 8 draconium. Actually, we might have enough in there. So anyway, we should just need to flip the switch here, put the experience in there, and we should get our primal mana. Oh yeah, a little bit over a bucket's worth, but yeah, 1 bucket is all we needed. So I forget, can I use a bucket like on this? No, I can't. So can I remove this, put the bucket here, and then pour primal mana onto this? I cannot. So how do we get the primal mana out? I wonder, can I pipe it out into like a tank or something? That is a pretty good question, I think. Let me grab this, and we'll stick that right there. Get rid of this, flip the lever. Oh yeah, okay, so now we got that in here. Now can I bucket out of this thing? There we go. Okay, so now I got a bucket of the primal mana, and we got a little bit left over here. I'm not sure what we're gonna do with the 152 millibuckets, but that doesn't really matter. So the next thing we need to do is get some silver. And let's see, how much, I can't remember how much it is. I think it's, you can do 8 at a time. Anyway, let us sleep. Yeah, let's make it daytime real quick. We will sleep and we will set this down. We're going to do it outside. The primal mana is pretty interesting. from my testing in a creative world and from what I read on the wiki, yeah, the Primal Mana acts kind of like liquid redstone. It kind of acts a little bit like the liquid ender pearls. So like if you're standing in it, it'll warp you around. Every once in a while, it'll emit a redstone signal every once in a while. I'm trying to think where the best place to go for this is. You know what? Let's use our thingy. Let's go back to where we're fighting the Wither boss. That seems like the safest place to try this. Yeah, because the only thing is here is like bedrock. There's nothing that could get potentially ruined. All right, so silver blocks. We just do silver, 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 silver. We'll leave a spot in the center to place the mana. And then I think it is like this is the furthest away this will reach and convert blocks. I believe that's right. So anyway, we can take the Primal Mana and stick it right there. Tink. I like that sound it makes. Yep, and now we have mana infused blocks. Yeah, but as you can see, some blocks catch on fire like blazing pyrotheum. Some blocks turn to snow, similar to the cryotheum. Yeah, and we can just pick this back up in the bucket and move it around and all of that stuff. So yeah, that's pretty cool. So now we can take this ore and then we can pulverize it or whatever we need to do to get the dust. Can we turn these into ingots? I assume we can. Yeah, we can turn these into ingots or we can pulverize it and get the dust like it's required for these recipes. Okay, so now that we got this solved, yeah, that mana's pretty cool. Now that we got this solved, we can go ahead and move on and continue making our mob grinder. So yeah, guys, this is the area where I've been killing wither bosses and it's blown all the way down to the ground here. But yeah, the reason why we're out here right now is because I had to set up some kind of contraption here to collect more blood. What I didn't realize is that mana infused metal, yeah, we have to pour the primal mana onto it and it requires a decent amount of the stuff. So like, actually, let's go here to the mob grinder, this mana dust. Yeah, so in order to do that, we need one of the pulverized mana infused metal, and then we have to pour like 3 ingots worth of primal mana onto it. Yeah. So anyway, we need a lot more blood so I can create a lot more of this primal mana stuff. So I set up a small little mob trap kind of a thing into a smeltery. Yep. So I've collected a little bit right now. Just got 1 molten iron ingot in there, and then I just set up a little spawning area. So this is 9 by 9 with the spawner, a power spawner directly in the center. Currently, I am using, what is this, a cultist cleric? Yeah, this is probably not the best mob to use, but it's one that I had made, so that's what we're using. I made another tesseract so we could remotely power this thing. So I got fans in each corner and then on the sides on all 4 cardinal directions, pointing towards the center. So no matter where you are inside here, like you get pushed towards the center. Obviously this could be faster if I had more fans, but it's not really necessary. So anyway, I have this all disconnected right now because I wanted to show you guys this. Let me connect everything back together. Okay, so this lever right here provides power along the outside to all those fans as we just saw, and I had this disconnected because the spawner turns on and off based on a redstone signal. Yeah, the way this works though, the powered spawner has like an internal power buffer, so when I turn off that lever, it's still spawning mobs, but the fans are turned off. So yeah, it's not that great. There's probably a better way to do this. Maybe using the redstone signal directly on the powered spawner itself would be the best way. I might look at changing this up. But yeah, so we can go and spawn these guys in. They're kind of loud. They make all sorts of crazy weird sounds or whatever. But yeah, when they go into the smeltery, they start producing lots of blood. So every tick, watch how much this gets. And then it only gets more and more the more we have spawned in here. So yeah, that's pretty good right now. I mean, we're getting about half a bucket every tick or something like that. So yeah, it's pretty loud. I'm keeping my distance away from there, just watching them spawn in, watch them go down there. We're also getting void seeds and knowledge fragments from these guys and a little bit of gold coins, so it's not too bad. But yeah, we can get the blood pretty quickly here. Let me turn this off before it gets out of control. Yeah, we can get the blood pretty quickly here, so I should be able to make the rest of the primal mana. So yeah, that's a lot of primal mana that we had to make. Well, I was able to get it all done. I made a block of the stuff, so we got 9 mana dust. So to get this mob grinder, we need to make the sword of the wyvern. And in order to do that, we need to make an etheric sword. So that is 2 unstable ingots and a piece of obsidian. let's go outside real quick. We'll make this. I want to make sure we're doing it, you know, outside of the base in case this does explode or whatever. Don't want things getting too out of control. All right, so we'll place that here. So it's like this, 2 of those, something like that. There's our unstable ingots. So you have to make 2 of those and then use obsidian for the handle. So let's make that real quick. Well. So that just happened. I think that's might be the first time I've ever died to that. I don't know. Ding thing. That's weird. It like kills you. Yeah, that's weird. It like kills you without really doing any damage. Man, that actually did some damage to my armor, didn't it? Yeah, it just kind of ignores the armor, doesn't it? Huh, that's kind of weird. So anyway, so when you're making those things, don't do that. I was trying to click both of them at the same time. They don't stack. So I guess I need to shift click them and then click the thing out of my inventory. Oh man, that sucks. Okay, well, we can get this done real quick. All right, so I need to just get another diamond and another piece of iron. There's iron and diamond. All right. All right, so let's do that again. Derpity derpity derp. So iron, this thing, 2 diamonds. Try and get my hot bar full of stuff. Get everything out of the way so I don't put things where I don't want them. Okay, so shift click. There's 2 of them. There's this. There's that. There's this one. There's the etheric sword. Didn't die that time. You know what? I'll just leave that here. All right. So now that we have the sword, we should be able to make the sword of the wyvern. Like so. Yep. And this is ones that are not charged up, just double checking that I'm not wasting. All right, so there's that. Pellet RTG fuel I've already made. So I think we should have everything together. There's a mob grinder. Cool. So we got it. But you know what, guys? I think we're out of time for this episode. Oh my goodness, that took a while to get, man. That mana, I've never made that before. Yeah, that stuff takes a minute to do. Well, we have a way to collect blood now, so I might set up a drum and just fill that up so I don't have to worry about that for a while. We have the mob grinder, so next episode we'll probably look at setting up a way to automatically kill the wither boss. We want a way to automatically spawn it, move it into like a wither-proof area, and then kill it with the mob grinder. So yep, that's what we're working on next. Yep, that's it for today. Thank you guys for watching. Remember to leave a like on this episode if you liked it, and we'll see you next time. Thanks for watching, guys. Bye-bye.